Hi everyone, this is Dr. Schroeder with this week's video introduction to week number 2 of our course in evidence-based practice. And we're off to a pretty good start this class. This week we primarily focused on identifying a problem common in healthcare or nursing practice, and then formulating, or at least starting to formulate, what's known as a PICO statement. I talked about this last week, and of course you've been reading in your textbook about it. And a PICO statement is essentially just a clear, concise statement that explains what your evidence-based project is going to be all about. Now, the evidence-based projects that you've been working on this week is going to be a topic that you're going to be carrying through really through for the rest of class. So if you don't like your topic, if you want to switch up, if you want to change and do something else, this is probably the week that you want to do that. If you're just not, and by that, by the way, I don't mean that, you're not able to find information. You want to, select something a little bit easier. I think that everybody's selected problems that are very workable for evidence-based practice. But if you do some reading and find that there's something else that you want to do, this is the week that you want to probably get that finalized, or go ahead and not wait till after this week, because otherwise, from this point out, really everything that we're doing in class is going to be feeding into that evidence-based practice paper, the papers that you're going to be turning in for the rest of the class. So that PICO statement's important. I posted a little bit of information in the Ask Your Instructor discussion forum, specifically on this understanding the difference between what an affect and an effect is. Now, I know that this really sounds like it's just semantics, and everybody maybe kind of rolls their eyes about a little bit, and it's like, well, maybe the difference isn't really that big, but it really is, because an affect is something that isn't measurable. It's something that is very general. And what we should always be measuring for in any kind of nursing research, and evidence-based practice falls into this category, we should be looking for a specific effect. If we're going to be doing an intervention, we should be able to predict what that effect is going to be. If we don't have an anticipated effect, if we don't really know what the outcome might be, then we're not really, we're kind of like on the fence of not really doing evidence-based practice. We're just doing nursing research, trying to see what cause-effect relationships there may be between interventions. Here, the whole point is that we're searching the literature to find what has been found to be the most effective, what has been found to be the best. That's what we should be looking at. And so those PICO questions, I've left some feedback in the forum. Again, take a look at yours. If it's not specific, if it is very general, or if you really can't tell what that intervention's all about, you'll need to tighten that up for week number 2. So in week number 2, again, you're going to be starting with your PICO question in your problem, and we're going to be talking about how to do a library search. Now, all of you have due at the end of this week your experiential report. This is the talk that you've had with your librarian. And so really the focus of that librarian interview is to really hone in on how are some good ways, or what are some good techniques to use while you're doing this literature search. What kind of keywords do you want to use? It's really important, because what you want to do is you want to, first of all, search only the peer-reviewed databases. So that would be CINAHL, Cochrane, PubMed, ProQuest would also fit into this. And identify the keywords that you're using and your inclusion-exclusion criteria. Then how many returns that you get back, and from that you're going to be selecting a total of 5 articles, and those 5 articles are going to be the ones that you judge to be the best for your evidence-based practice project. So that's going to be the primary focus this week, is talking about literature searches and identifying the 5 pieces of literature that you're going to use to support your evidence-based practice intervention. And of course, still refining that PICO. So if I've left you feedback, or even if I haven't left you specific feedback, because I haven't left feedback for everybody, but if your terminology isn't correct, or if it's not really clear what your intervention is, if it's not specific, or if your outcomes are a bit vague, you want to tighten those up this week. So as always, I look forward to participating in class along with you this week. I look for grading for this week to probably be done on Wednesday or maybe Thursday. Of course, we have 4th of July on Wednesday, so I hope everybody has a safe and sane 4th. if they allow fireworks where you're at, have fun with them. If they don't allow fireworks where you're at, well, there's always a good fireworks show. And if you don't like fireworks at all, well, staying home and barbecuing or just sort of enjoying the time or getting some extra work in, I hope you have a great 4th of July. I look forward to seeing everybody in class, and we'll see you in the discussion forums.